Check, check, check. How do I am coming out in the speakers to me hearing it?
Hey everybody, it's Rogue Wildy, and today I'm going to be showing you how to defeat Groal the Great. He's the final boss that you will find in the Bilewater biome. And tools I'm using are the Pimpillo, the Conch Cutter, Sharp Dart, Weaver Technique, and the Reaper Crest for its nice big swooping attacks. I'm just showing you the route to get there from the closest bench. This bench is hidden in a secret alcove. You can kind of backtrack from here in the tutorial where I'm showing you, and then you'll be able to find that secret entrance if you haven't already. And I would recommend you do so because the next closest bench is extremely far away, and having to go all the way through the entire thing would be extremely frustrating if you haven't found that already. The route to get there still is kind of long, and you're going to be facing a lot of the Stiltkins, or Stiltons I think they're called. They just jump out of the ground. You have to avoid those poisonous spikes that they spit at you. Best way to do so is to just run right through. I do fall into the muck a couple times, but I'm able to bind out of it as soon as I get into the stage and equip the, or get my silk sack. My tactic for dealing with the Stiltons that jump out of the muck are, I just do a nice downward strike as soon as they come up out of the water. And it takes 4 hits to take these guys out, but it's a good way to get your silk built back up. I failed to mention earlier, but you can see I'm using the Fractured Mask as well as Weavelight to get my silk back pretty quick. For the Stilton trappers, those guys are pretty easy compared to the ones that spit the spikes out. You just got to stay right above them as they come up, and then you can stay nice and high when you're using the Reaper Crest, just using your downward strikes to take them out. I also use my Sharp Dart to take out these little bloatfly kind of things because they're difficult to tackle with the main attack. If you are low on silk though, you can use those to get a little bit extra. I do take a little bit of damage here coming through the first couple waves, but once you get used to the timing it's not too hard, and then you can heal yourself quite a bit, so it's not really a deal breaker if you do take some damage while you're coming through these waves here. But you're going to watch out for that spike ball that swings across the stage during these first couple of waves. The best way to avoid it is just standing on the platform and going all the way to the left side of the stage there. And that's basically all there is to fighting off these initial enemies here. Just try to avoid taking as much damage as you can because you're definitely going to need it for the main fight, and then try to stay out of the muck for the main fight if you can. But you'll see as the fight progresses, I actually use the muck for part of my tactic in defeating Groal the Great. So now there he is jumping out of the water. He really has just 2 main attacks for the first stage of the fight. One, he's going to shoot these explosive loogies out. So you want to go ahead and avoid those. If you fall into the muck at any stage, you can use that to your advantage and just jump in there when he's shooting those loogies out, because it's the way that they bounce. If you stay close to a platform, they're not going to go too close enough to you to hit you in the explosion. His second attack, he's going to attempt to suck you in, and while you're inside of him, if you deal 4 to 6 strikes, he's going to release you from that attack. But also, I found this out, if you throw these little Pimpillos at him while he's doing that attack, he'll actually suck it in, and it'll explode inside of him. I'm not sure if it does more damage because he does that, but it is kind of a nifty little trick that I discovered, so I was kind of utilizing it here. My second tool, the Conch Cutter, this one is really indispensable too in this fight. I use it quite a bit to deal a pretty good amount of damage to him. If you can get it caught right there in the middle of his body, then it's going to do significant damage. You can see in his second stage he begins using this kind of possessed soul spitting attack, where the best way for me to avoid it is I just jump into the muck to stay out of it, because I don't really have any silk to use up anyway, and I'm not really using my Sharp Dart. If I do get up enough silk to use the Sharp Dart, I usually try to use it on him right as he's trying to suck me in. If you time it right, you can actually just dash right through him. But just be careful, because if he does suck you in, he's going to do a minimum of 2 masks of damage, and it can be 3 if you're not quick with hitting back at him. But the good news is, while you're sucked up inside of him, if you're doing damage to him, it actually does hurt him. So all the damage that you do while you're inside of him does end up being to your benefit. Even still, with all of the tactics that I'm employing during this fight, I do take quite a bit of hits, and I actually have a very close call right there, where I almost lost my fractured mask and would ultimately have made me lose this battle. I'm not gonna lie, it's an extremely difficult battle, probably one of the most annoying and difficult fights in the entire game. Just because of the amount of stuff that's going on. He doesn't necessarily have a ton of different attacks, but you don't really have a lot of options in terms of trying to avoid him. So just use your tools and try to always get those hits in. Right here you can see how I'm using the platforms to avoid his exploding loogies. You just stay right there next to the platform. It just bounces right overhead. It never really gets close enough to hit you, so that's kind of a neat little trick there that you can use if you're not very good at dodging that attack, which I'm definitely not, so that's why I'm doing it. Also, getting out of the way of his soul spitting ability, that's the best way to do it, because he actually can't reach you while you're in the muck, no matter what. And then here you can see I'm going for a sharp dart rush, but I actually missed it, so luckily I was able to deal enough damage before he kills me there. And then I dash right through, and that's the end of the fight.
Thank you very much for watching, and if you found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future content. I'll be uploading more tutorials over the next few weeks, and I'd love for you to join me live on Twitch, where I share gameplay, tips, and behind-the-scenes practice. You can just look me up. My handle is RogueWildy, just like here. Drop a comment also and let me know what you're currently working with or struggling on. That way I can help and make sure you get the tutorials you need to cover what you need in the future. So I'll see you in the next one.